What's up? It's your boy, the King of Tank Cell, coming at you with another episode of the
Salty Fresh
Salty Thank you.
Podcast. All right. He is your host,
the King of Tank
And
Cell,
I
and the guy
am
who doesn't know how to fill up his
Alex.
tanks, A2.
Let's go. This is episode 5, I think. This is a double upload because I forgot to upload the podcast last week. So
Yeah.
you're going to get this episode and episode 4. So you got 2 episodes today. So that's
Yeah, you
always
get a
great.
2-for-1.
Yep. All right. Take it away, Noah.
Alright, so today's topic, we'll be talking about filters, which is the heart of the tank besides water and your air supply. So,
Always necessary.
as
no
far
matter
as I know,
what.
there are different types, but the 3 main types that I've come across, I think this covers everything, would be sponge filter, hang on the back, and canister filter. Each different type is a filter, but it's like the way I would describe it is good, better, and best.
It serves the same purpose, but it just it's just different levels of filtration.
Different
That's how I
levels
see it.
and different budgets. So the next thing is that's kind of the brief. Oh, well, might as well, since we're talking about different types of filters, why don't we just go into a brief description. The basic would be like a sponge. It would be sponge filter, which you can get for like pretty cheap at your local fish store.
Probably
know-
the cheapest one.
I think.
Well,
the
actually, the air pump probably costs a little bit, but
yeah, but I mean,
if you already have the air pump, then it's pretty cheap.
yeah, but let's say we don't have an air pump. Let's say if they don't have the air pump, that's like what, maybe $30 at most. Well, it depends.
Maybe
'cause-
20, depending on what size you get.
Yeah. No, I mean like not just the sponge filter. I'm talking like the air pump and the sponge filter itself. I mean, because you got different sizes, but your next one is your hang on the back. That's like kind of your run of the mill filter that you see.
You get that in the starter kits.
Yeah, you can get that in the
everything.
starter kits.
I say the cheapest option. It gets the job done.
Well, I mean I would say sponge would be the cheapest, but
So I'm taking for the sponge. I'm taking into consideration the air tube.
yeah.
The aerator thingamajig.
Mm-hmm.
So hang on the back is pretty simple.
Yeah.
You just set it up, but it's good.
I mean, I like that hang on the back, but at the same time, like, especially for saltwater, I would go like one up. So like, if you get the top fin starter kit and it's, like the filter they give you. I'm not saying that's like I'm not saying that's the worst choice, but I'm just saying that I would go one up, especially if you have, like in Alex's hobby, freshwater. It's like if you have Oscars, arowanas, I would go one up. If you can afford it, I would run a canister ideally.
And there's no such thing as over filtration.
Yes.
No such thing.
But canister filters, man, that is like the cream of the crop when it comes to filters. I know King of DIY. King of DIY says like a massive sponge filter. In a way, it is true. I do agree with him, but I want to say it's like a customizable sponge filter. It's not just a sponge filter. Because it's like, I want to say it's a customizable sponge filter because you see what it looks like, right? Did you see that video?
No.
Okay, watch the video because he shows you like all the sponges. Like this is why I say I agree and I don't agree with him because I agree with him because it's a lot of sponges.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the reason why I say it's a customizable sponge filter is you could put different types of media in the middle rack. Like for my Tool 7, you see the rack, right? It's like it's just a big sponge.
Yep.
But so it's it is a sponge filter, but essentially, even the hang on the backs are like sponge filters too, because some you got that the cartridge. Some you have the that sponge too. But like the other filter I used to have on my 15 that had a sponge, so it's a sponge filter. But the reason why I like the canisters is you can customize it even with the hang on the back, the Top Fin Pro series, the hang on Pro series hang on the back filters. Those are like you can put comes with the sponge, the charcoal, and the rocks.
Yep.
You can actually customize. Like I wouldn't say customize because now it's like you only could put those because that's pretty much just your essentials. But with the canister filter, you could put like the those bio gravel, not the ceramic rings because that comes with the Pro series hang on the backs. But you could like if you go to like PetSmart or like any pet store and you look for the canister filter stuff, you have so many options of what you can put in there to suit your needs. So like you have like I know the 207 has that thing on the bottom rack that's like a water polisher.
Yep.
So that comes in handy. But like to me King of look I'm not talking bad about King of DIY because actually that's I actually respect I respect his opinion. But it's at the same time it is his opinion, and like my opinion is it's a sponge filter. There's no doubt about it, but it's also a versatile sponge filter where you could put like modify it to your needs of the tank. But like let's see. What's your experience with the canister filter? I mean, like in terms of customization.
I'll talk about a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So sponge filters, from my knowledge of them, I believe they're just pretty much sucking in all like the doo-doo, the mess, sucking into like a central point of where it is. I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. But from what I've seen when cleaning it, it all kind of sucks everything to one little area. So when you lift it, well, the doo-doo's going to be all over the place, but you can suck it in right there pretty easily. And it also gives airflow because it has an air pump in it, and it does the job pretty well. I used to put 2 big sponge filters for my goldfish tank for a little while. It's kind of like a lazy man filter in my opinion, because all you really need to do is suck up everything, rinse the sponge filter real quick, put it back in, and that's it. So it's pretty easy. It cleans the water for the most part, not as good as the
canister.
hang in the back or canister. To me it's really a extra filter. I wouldn't use it by itself. I mean, maybe you could.
I mean, yeah,
maybe
like
you could.
I would run it on a maybe 2.5.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're going smaller,
you could do it with a beta or something. Maybe. I just wouldn't use it by itself when my goldfish. I used to do it, but I see it doesn't clean it as good as if you add it on an actual filter. And a hanging up back filter, I mean, it's very versatile. I mean, you can use it with anything. Very easy setup. All you do is put it, hang it on the back. There's also internal filters or stick-on filters that
I forgot about those.
That do like how a henna back would work.
But it's just inside.
Yeah, it's also extremely easy. All you really need to do is put filter floss, put some media, or you could just do filter floss too. That just works as well. It cleans up pretty well if you have one or a big one or a couple of them.
Yeah.
For me, in my experience, it cleans everything extremely well. But then canister filter, that's the big boy because
that's like
it's 3 levels.
Oh, mine's just 4.
I'm just saying middle ground usually about 3 because it's extremely customizable. So it filters through tubes. It goes from down to up. So you put, like, for example, first tray, you put your rocks, your filter rocks. That's the main important part.
The rocks are you could put bio rings.
Or bio rings, something like that. And then on the top, you put your what am I call is
it the charcoal?
Charcoal, and then the top filter floss, and it filters through that way. And what's good about this is usually you can leave it on for a couple of months. For hanging on backs, you gotta change it every 2 weeks or a week.
Change your rinse.
Both.
Yeah.
But those ones, canister filters, they last a little longer, like about 2 months, 1 month maybe. Or I seen somebody have it for a whole year and their tank is crystal clear. All they did was water change, and they just left the canister on for 1 year. You could probably do that, maybe. But you gotta really be on your tank.
Yeah.
They are like definitely the big boy. You gotta really care about fish keeping if you want to run canister. You really gotta pay attention. they are expensive. When you
Yeah.
first buy it, they're expensive, and they're also expensive to run it because you gotta buy because they're big. They're bigger than canisters. I mean, they're bigger than hang on the back.
Bigger than oh well okay.
They're bigger than sponges,
Yeah.
and the cleaning process is kind of crazy too because you gotta rinse it.
I mean yeah, but
Rinse a little bit of the sponge. You should keep it to keep the keep
beneficial
the
bacteria.
yeah.
But yeah, I
It's
mean
gonna stink. I'm telling you right now. Out of all the filters you're gonna clean, you're gonna smell it. You're gonna smell it real bad. It's gonna
Yeah.
hit your nose pretty hard. If you care about your fish and you really love them, you really want to keep their tank extremely clean, canister
is the
is the
way.
way to go. Or you could do up 2 hang on the backs, 2
Yeah,
big
that's,
ones.
that's
that
what my
works
dad.
too.
That's what my dad was saying.
Yeah.
But
So that's pretty much my experience. For goldfish, canisters work extremely well,
Mhm.
and I also have an internal filter, and it keeps my 75-gallon tank, extremely clean.
yeah, even for me, would the polisher be a canister or an internal?
Internal.
Yeah, internal. But for me,
Polisher, is that the Magnum?
yeah, the one
Yeah,
you
that's
and my dad
that's
run.
Internal.
Yeah. But for me,
So
it's
technically it's a canister, technically, but internal. I'm gonna classify it as an internal.
yeah, because canister is an external.
Yeah.
But for me, my experience with the canister is you see I bought the 207, which leads me to my next question. I'm not calling you out on this. Did you put it together right? Because that polish, you did put it. The polisher's on top, right?
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember what was in there, but I know I put it in
Yeah.
right because all I did was unwrap it and put it in the way it was.
Oh, so you didn't read the instruction. I like how you. Getting back to that, I like how we didn't read the instruction and it's
It was
like
pretty straightforward to put it back together. It's just the tubing was confusing.
yeah, because it's like I didn't
You gotta
I didn't
cut
account
stuff.
I didn't account for the height of the tank, so I had to order another tube from Amazon.
Yeah.
And now I think about it, we could have actually. I think we could have actually made it.
Mm.
No, wait, no, because the intake tube is I forgot is like longer,
Mhm.
but at the same time I'd rather have more hose than not.
Mhm. So any other experiences
but-
with canister?
But as you for saltwater, I would say run 2 filters. I would run like have you seen my tank lately? I run the canister and the sponge filter. But for me, saltwater, what I like about the canisters is if you go like one up, which I should have done. I should have got the 307.
Mhm.
I'm not saying I'm not saying I don't like the 207. The 207 is doing just fine.
Yep.
Because it's meant for 20 to 45, so it's
Mhm.
like I kind of like I should have just gone with the 307, but the 207 provides the it provides the filtration, but it doesn't provide the airflow, which like my dad runs the Fluval FX4.
Yep.
You seen his tank, like how it's blowing the water.
Yep.
Yeah, so it provides, especially for salt water, a lot of the fish, wrasses. I have fish called margin flagtails, or in Hawaiian ahola hola, the silverfish.
Mhm.
Those like the current. So if you notice that you get a canister filter and it's like what is it? What is it?
They
gonna
are
say?
fairly strong.
Yeah, it's like it'll provide the current, but if you notice, like for me, like remember how I said it doesn't. It provides a flow, but not enough.
Mhm.
You can run a power head, so I'm getting off track here, but it's like basically for saltwater is I would like go canister, like if you're going 20 and up canister, I would recommend canister.
What you can also do is if you want to have a canister but your filter is too strong and you want to lower it, you can always put a sponge on it. That's what I've done. You can just buy a
sponge.
little sponge
Yeah.
and put it on top of the tube and it'll slow it down considerably. And it's good.
Yeah.
Extra sponge too, extra filtration, so that's always good.
Oh shoots, I forgot to do this part when I was at work.
You ever had
Price-
experience with like not canister, hang on the back and sponge as well?
Hang on the back. I have had with the was that the almost at the 75, the 55. I had that
Mm-hmm.
for the first maybe was it the I think it was the first few months that we had the 55. We had that big filter.
Mm-hmm.
I generally
The Emperor.
no, not the Emperor. The Emperor was on my 20.
Oh.
Was on the 15 for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
My dad used to have it on his 36. The 55 was that big top fin filter we used to have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the hang on the back because it's a good alternative in case your canister goes down.
Yep.
Because like if your canister goes down, which brings me to my next point I want to talk about is price range on these. The 207 was about, I want to say just under 100 with my discount. Well, it's just maybe just under.
Yeah.
But like regular price is 150 for 207. That keep in mind that's for a 20 gallon. The FX4 that my dad runs on that I technically run on the 55 is about I want to say not maybe 250, almost 300. I want to say. So they do get kind of pricey, but the cheapest one, like you said, would be like the hang on the back. But like if you're on a real budget,
yep,
you can go sponge filter, but it's not recommended, especially in salt water, unless you're just gonna run a invert tank.
Yep.
But
there's one filter I've never tried is a sump. Those are next
oh yeah,
level.
sump is custom. I kind of left that out on purpose because none of us had experience with sumps, so I just went with the three main that we've used.
So real quick, this video is sponsored by us. Please subscribe, like, share, criticize, whatever you want. We definitely need it starting this out. So once again, this video is sponsored by us. Please subscribe.
So what's the next topic?
Episode 5 already.
Dang.
5 more, we're at 10. That's crazy.
Oh, tips for beginners.
Yeah.
I this is gonna be like I think this is gonna be a regular segment for every episode, or every episode that we talk about the different aspect of the tanks. So tips for beginners. I think my biggest tip would be budget for this, because budget and actually it comes down to three main things for beginners: budget, planning, a budget, tank size, and fish, what you're gonna have in there. Because I can give you an example from both freshwater and saltwater, then you can give yours. For freshwater, like I said, if you're gonna go with stuff that eats live, especially like Oscars, arowanas, pacus, or if you're just gonna have a lot of, even in a smaller tank, if you're gonna have a lot of fish, but you're gonna be feeding like bloodworms and stuff, I would say don't go with the sponge filter. If you can afford to, go hang on the back at least. But if you're going like 5 gallons and down, maybe you can use the hang on the back and the sponge filter. Or actually, sponge filter would be okay because, like you said, you can use that for betas. Salt water, I would highly recommend going canister. The only time I would say go hang on the back is if you're running very minimal fish, like just tiny fish, like real small fish, or just inverts. That's the only time you can use hang on the back. I would say you can use hang on the back or just a sponge filter. If you're going like me, where I have the 4 more which I meant to tell you, I have a new moray eel. So if you have 4 moray eels, and especially let's just put it this way, I have 4 moray eels in that 20 now. So it's a good thing I have the 207, because they eat 2 out of the 4 eat live sand crabs. That's what my dad called about. So it's like 2 of the 4 eat live sand crabs. So it's like, got the waste and stuff. That and them being, they eat a lot when I bring home live food. They make a lot of waste. But I also have to feed I like to call the hola holas, the margin flagtail, the tetras of saltwater, because they, like, if you can catch multiple, they'll school, and it looks like a bunch of silver tetras. But I think that's it for me. But if you can, go like I said, go canister if you can, because not only will it give more than enough filtration, it'll also provide a current for your fish to swim in. But if you want, I would, ideally, if your budget can allow, I would go with the power head as well. Just there's no such thing in saltwater as over current, because you're gonna want a lot of the fish you find, especially for me here in Hawaii, they live in the current. So a lot of the reef fish, they kind of like that current they swim against. But tips for beginners: if somebody's starting out and strictly going into freshwater, but take it away, Alex.
Or not just freshwater in general. I think the main thing you always have to do is know your size, know the size of your house, measure, always be prepared of what you're gonna bring into your house, because I've seen people, they try to buy 100-gallon, oh, they fit through the door. Or let's say they buy a 5-gallon tank and their goldfish gets too big. Always know or expect like sizing. I guess if that makes sense, just know what you're gonna buy. Know the size of your house. Know the size that your fish is gonna get. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. You just really make sure that tanks will fit to the house, or you can expect and be prepared for bigger tanks if needed, stuff like that. That's my recommendation, or that's my tip for this episode.
Does that wrap it?
Or do you have anything else?
Let's see.
Or is that pretty much it?
That's pretty. Let's see. Hang on the back for canisters. Our
talking about a lot today.
Yeah, I know. We covered. I'm surprised we did. Hang on. When I did the second topic, we kind of went into our third topic without transitioning. But
so that's pretty much it then.
That's pretty much it. I mean.
All right. Well, thank you for watching this episode. Once again, I'm gonna say again, please subscribe, share, criticize, anything.
And next week's episodes will be strictly for advice for new people coming into the hobby. Sorry, I didn't mean to take 2 weeks, but at the same time, I kind of want to make one strictly for, like, just advice from us. Like, I just wanted to make one episode because a lot of the times we're just talking about our experiences.
Yep.
So we're gonna like I want to say this should be a collab. Like, there should be two of us. This should be both of our episodes.
Yep.
Because I can do saltwater, and then I could like kind of give commentary on yours, coming from somebody who used to do freshwater. So we'll do it like that. We'll just split it down the.
All right. Well, that's the end of our episode.
And next week, stay tuned. Next week, where we give advice to people who are starting out in either of our respective hobbies. So subscribe, like, comment, and peace.